Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about fussy eaters. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that Elle is a really good eater, but Caitlin, who is 9, my eldest daughter, she is a fussy eater and has been since she was quite little. So in this video I wanted to tell you how I deal with her fussy eating. I'm not saying it's the right way to deal with it or how you should deal with it, but I'm just going to share how I deal with it and maybe you can get some help from that. Okay, so the first thing I will say is for a lot of years I battled with Caitlin about her fussy eating, and we fought a lot about it, and I made her sit down and finish meals that she didn't want to eat, and we fought over things that she wouldn't even try, and I spent a lot of time worrying that she wasn't getting the right nutrients, and I'm sure if you've got a fussy eater you'll be able to relate to all those things. But recently, as I said, Caitlin is 9, recently I've kind of had bit of a change of heart. When I say recently, probably over the last couple of years, I've had a little bit of a change of heart and I've taken a bit of a different approach, and that is what I wanted to share with you. So the first thing I would say is I think all parents of fussy eaters will say that at least at one point they have been worried about the health side of them being a fussy eater. And what I mean by that is that they'll worry that they're not getting the right nutrients and that they're not going to be healthy because they're not eating the right foods. So the first thing I would say is speak to your health visitor or doctor and voice your concerns with them, because I'm sure that they will put your mind at rest and to know that they are going to be getting what they need. Even if a child eats a very limited diet, usually they will be able to be getting what they need, and you can top that up with multivitamins as well. And if you know that your child is getting the things that they need, then it takes a weight off your shoulders, and that's one less thing to worry about when you're dealing with the whole situation. Okay, secondly, as I said, I've kind of changed my approach recently, and I've stopped battling with Caitlin over her not wanting to eat certain things. She's very particular about the things she does want to eat, and instead of trying to force her to eat things that she doesn't want to eat, I've kind of gone with it. If a child doesn't like something, you're not going to make them like it any more than anyone could make you like something that you don't like. So there's no point fighting about that. They don't like it, that's it. So focus on what they do like and work with that. So for example, Caitlin really likes pasta in tomato-y based sauces. So I can work with that and I can make lots of different meals with vegetables and things within that pasta sauce. Also, Caitlin doesn't eat bread particularly. She will with chocolate spread on. It's funny how fussy eaters generally won't have a problem with chocolate, isn't it? But she generally doesn't like bread. I can sort of pinpoint a point when she became a fussy eater, when she had a bit of a bad experience with a Dairy sandwich, and the consistency of it made her gag and she was sick, and I think that's probably what it's come down to. It might be a coincidence, but I think probably that's what it's come down to. So bread is something she doesn't like. She really doesn't like butter or spread on bread, the sort of consistency of that she doesn't like at all, and she doesn't like cheese, and she doesn't like creamy things. So with the things that she does like, I'll work on that. So I know for lunches she's not going to eat sandwiches. So I know that she does like cucumber, tomato, she likes loads of salady items. So just work with that. You know what they like, then don't give yourself a hard time by trying to get them to eat things that they won't eat. Look at what they do like and work with that, and then you're giving yourself an easier time and you're not going to be fighting with your child, and it's going to be a much more pleasant experience. So accept the situation. They don't like those things, that's it. Work with what they do like. And then eventually in time, they might start to like the other things. So don't stress too much about the things that they don't like. That might come, but in the meantime, work with what they do like. One thing that I think is very important is not to create a bad relationship with food for your child. So I don't want it to be that when Caitlin sits down at the table, she dreads it. I don't want her to think, oh my gosh, I'm going to get something that I don't like to eat. I'm going to have to eat it. Because if you're in that situation, it wouldn't be nice. And I think that is when children start to have really bad associations with food and eating, and you don't want later down the line them to have food phobias or for them to have eating disorders and things like that. You want them to have a really good relationship with food. You want them to enjoy food. You want them to enjoy the social aspect of sitting down and eating a meal with everyone. You don't want it to be that you're just constantly fighting at the dinner table. So another thing, I never make Caitlin finish a meal. I think it's important for your child to know when they're full and to stop when they're full. So I will encourage Caitlin. So if I don't think she's eaten enough, I will say to her, why don't you try a little bit more? I would hate for you to be hungry before your next meal. That wouldn't be nice for you to feel hungry. Why don't you try a little bit more? And generally she will eat a bit more, but if she doesn't want to, I don't force the issue at all. You might think that's been really soft and let them have their own way, but what I do say to Caitlin is you have to sit at the table. It's good manners to sit at the table till everyone's finished. So if you don't want to eat the rest, that's fine, but you have to sit till everyone's finished. And then that way, if she's sitting there anyway with her food in front of her, it's not the case that she's going to say that she doesn't want any more because she wants to go and play or do something else. The food's there, so she might as well eat it if she is hungry. If she's genuinely not hungry, then she won't eat it, and then she can just join in conversation with us. Because mealtime is a good social family time, so I try and encourage that. The other thing is, if your child doesn't eat a lot of meal times, and all children are different, and all people are different. Some people will sit and eat a huge meal and just manage to stick to those meals and not snack in between, but some people need to eat little and often, and that's fair enough, we're all different. So what I would say is to make sure that you have healthy snacks between meals. So if your child doesn't eat much at a meal and then maybe a couple of hours later they're hungry, I don't think it's fair to say, well, you can't have anything until your next meal, because maybe they just can't eat a lot in one sitting. So as long as they're eating healthy things in between, like cucumber sticks or carrot sticks or fruit or something like that, then I don't see any harm in them snacking in between. Like, even if they fill up on all those snacks, is there anything wrong with them being full on veg rather than full on chicken and potatoes that you're having for tea? I don't see that there's any difference. As long as that their tummies are full and it's something nutritious, I don't really see that it matters when they eat. As long as that you're encouraging them to try and eat at meal times and they get healthy snacks. If you do feel like your child's making a habit of this and that they could eat at meal times and they're just like wanting to snack and they're maybe just making a bit of a game of it, then what you could do is try and encourage them to sit at the table to have their snack, so that it's not the case that they don't want to sit at the table at meal times and they just want to run around and snack and things. Make it that they do have to sit at the table for snack time as well. Okay, another thing I would say is to show your child respect. And if you show them respect, it gains a bit of trust. And this is something that's just sort of in the last year maybe sort of clicked with me. So Caitlin, as I said, doesn't like creamy sauces. She doesn't like cheesy things. And before I would try and like sort of trick her and get her to eat certain things, or I would like hide things in and say, oh, did you like that? Oh, well, that had cheese in it. So, and that's, from my experience, that isn't the way to go. What you want to do is gain your child's trust. So Caitlin knows that I know that she doesn't like creamy sauces, so I won't give her creamy sauces. And she's not going to sit down at a meal time and think, oh my gosh, my mum has given me something I really hate and I'm going to have to eat it and this is not for me. So she knows that what I'm going to give her is things that she likes. I know the things that she likes, and that's the sort of things that I'll give her. If there is a particular meal that me and Andrew and Elle really enjoy that I know is something Caitlin won't like, we'll have it a night that she's not here, or we'll cook Caitlin something different for that one particular night. It's not all the time, it's not a big effort, it's just that one night. So with that in mind, Caitlin knows that I won't try and trick her. She knows that I respect the things that she likes and doesn't like, and she trusts that I won't make her eat things that she doesn't like. So with that being said, she's getting much better at trying new things. And that is because she knows that I'm not going to give her something that I don't think she'll like. So, for example, recently I gave her fish cakes and she said to me, well, I like these, Mum. And I said to her, well, I think you will like them, Caitlin. The things that, there's nothing in them that you don't like, and the things that are in them are things that you like. You like fish, you like potatoes, you generally like things in breadcrumbs, because most kids do. And I said, I think you'll like them. So give them a try. If you don't like them, you don't have to eat them, but it is something that I think you'll like. And because I'm showing her that respect and she's got that trust, she will try it. Whereas if I said to her, have this, and she said, well, oh, Mum, I don't think I'm going to like it. And I said, well, tough, that's what's for tea, just eat it. Then she's going to think, oh, this might be something I don't like, but I'm having to eat it. And straight away, she's got a negative association with that food. So if she knows she doesn't have to eat it, but I think it's something she might like, generally she'll give it a try. And quite often recently, we've found new things that she likes. One thing that Caitlin really likes, which I was quite surprised at, is kedgeree, which is like rice and fish and spices and things like that, and egg. She doesn't particularly like egg, but she doesn't mind it in the kedgeree. And again, I'm quite honest with her and I say, there is egg in this, but I don't think you'll mind it. I don't think you'll taste it. I think you'll find it's fine. If you don't like it, I have a separate portion without egg that you can have, but give it a try and I think you'll find it okay. And sure enough, she did. So I think by showing your child that respect, then they have that trust and you can kind of work together rather than working against each other. So my main points I think that I would say are, number one, don't stress about the health side of things. Put your mind at ease by getting the information, and generally these things are a phase, so put your mind at rest by speaking to a health professional and get the nutrients into them any other way you can, whether it's in smoothies or in sauces or whatever way works for your child, or in multivitamins, whatever way works for your child. So try not to stress about the health implications. Number 2, try not to battle with your child. Don't make it a fight, don't make it a constant battle between you and them. Work together, show respect for your child, gain their trust, and make meal times an enjoyable experience. Number 3, try and promote a positive relationship with food for your child. Don't force them to eat food they don't like, and don't force them to eat more than they want. That's just how I do it. Another thing I would say, which goes along with the trust thing, I think if you are going along the approach that I'm speaking about, a more positive sort of child-led approach, I would have said, the important thing is to make sure you have your child's back. So if you're going out somewhere and there's maybe relatives, or you're going to a restaurant or something like that, make sure that the other adults know your approach. So they will say, you've got to finish watching your plate. Oh, well, you won't get pudding if you don't eat this. Make sure that your child knows that you've got their back, and stand up for them and say, well, actually, they've done well. I'm happy with how much they've eaten enough, they've said they're full, they can have dessert if they want it. And stand up for your child. Don't let them think that what they've done is something wrong. And again, that is along the lines of keeping a positive relationship with food. You don't want them to dread going out places to eat, you want them to dread visiting people. So hopefully you found it helpful, me sharing how I deal with my fussy eater, and it might be some things that you can use yourself. If you've got any of your own tips, please pop them in the comments. I would love to hear them. And if this video was helpful, please give it a like, and I would love it if you would subscribe. And if you don't follow me on Instagram and Twitter, then please come over and say hello and follow me there too. Thanks for watching today. Bye!